Hello guys. Here Mr.L, and I bring you guys the second part of Asmongold about Ashes of Creation. This is the reaction video, and I've been enjoying this video until now. So let's keep going. Don't waste more time. Um, like I said in the last one, if for any reason my program shuts down at 40-minute mark or 50-minute mark before 1 hour, I will drop the third part. So don't worry about that. All right, guys? And let's hit. Like the other one, I keep the video speed at 1.5. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you don't and you want me to slow down, just leave a comment and I will slow down from the next one. Right, guys? It's just the way I watch like large videos like this. It's always like that. Right? Let's hit it.
Get into that. Like, I'll let you get into it, but have you ever built a computer before?
Yeah.
Okay.
I built this one.
Yeah, well, there you go, right? And so I think that a lot of the problems that a lot of people are bringing up are, like, I remember whenever, for example, is not
Sorry
existing.
about
You
that,
didn't sign
boss.
up for a freehold
it's
system that doesn't
incomplete, right? The desert is incomplete. It does exist. It's just there are areas
well,
of it that are
let's talk
unfinished.
about percentage. Yeah, let's talk about that. Incomplete. Let's talk about percentage of completion.
Oh, damn. Damn, bro.
Like, I'll let you get into it, but have you ever built a computer before?
Yeah.
Okay.
I built this one.
Yeah, well, there you go, right? And so I think that a lot of the problems that a lot of people are bringing up are, like, I remember whenever, for example, like, I needed to get more RAM for my computer. And so when I got more RAM for my computer, I went and I got this RAM, and then I realized that it wouldn't fit inside of the motherboard. And then I had to get a new motherboard. But then when I got a new motherboard, I realized that I now needed a new power supply. And I think that the way that you need to make sure that, like, computer components fit together inside of a PC and all
Let's leave it like that.
all that fits inside of the case is kind of similar to the way that games work. And so if you have a game that comes out and all of those features aren't readily available in the alpha, I don't think that it's really fair to say that they don't necessarily exist, because they might not be implemented into the alpha, because if you want to use the metaphor, maybe the motherboard isn't exactly what it needs to be in order for that thing to go into the alpha. And I think that's the way that it works.
Right. I understand that. I get it, right. It's an actively developed game.
Yes.
When they add things are going to break.
Yes.
But again, I don't think that's got anything to do with advertising a game as one thing, and it's not actually that one thing.
So you think that you were falsely advertised to because of the freehold system not being what it was inside of, like, let's say the demo?
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's go with that angle. So the freehold system doesn't exist. The weather systems that were shown don't exist. Granted, the seasons do, right? That's actually really good, and I'm really impressed with that they did the seasons. The seasons exist, but the weather doesn't. The story arc systems, the main thing that delivers content to players, they showed it in a state that triggered quests on your screen. They showed it so the world was changing dynamically in real time. That's what we thought that they currently had because they showed it, and that's what they advertised. The server meshing technology, that doesn't exist. There's no server meshing. There's no dynamic gridding.
There's no server meshing.
Well, sorry, there is server meshing. Let me correct myself. There is server
Okay. Alright, okay.
meshing. There is no dynamic gridding. So they've advertised this whole thing that this dynamic gridding exists. Personally, I think that's Star Citizen copium, and there is no such thing as dynamic gridding. There is no such thing as dynamic server meshing. I just don't believe in that shit.
Why?
That feels like copium. Well, because it's technology that just feels like it's buzzwords that are trying to do something that's literally impossible. A dynamically shrinking and growing server. Show me it working. Show me it first. Stop.
Come on, Narc. Even Star Citizen already showed they can do it. It's the same thing like 20 years ago. Nobody had ever imagined that cars could drive themselves. And comes along Elon Musk and poops. Oh god.
Advertising that it's going to exist.
Didn't they do that? Because the Star Citizen, they showed it.
Thank you, Asmongold.
With, like, throwing the ball back and forth.
Oh, we even remembers about the ball. Sorry about that, guys.
Well, the people that they've shown that, but it's not actually in the video game yet.
What you talking about? Oh god.
It was a concept again. It was just a concept.
It
Sure, it
was
exists
a
in concept, but it's not in the game yet.
Do you think it will ever be in the game?
Not
Dynamic gridding and dynamic server
Creation,
meshing?
but
No, I don't think that's ever going to exist.
Okay.
I don't know about that one. I don't believe in that one. I don't know about that one.
People are saying
You?
it is in the game. Yeah, of
What?
course.
It isn't. Oh god. Come on, Narc. You need to leave the internet, man. You need to go touch grass, man. Come on, bro.
I think it's gonna happen.
Really?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like you have all kinds of different types of
You're so
technology that are
optimistic.
evolving. Yeah, no, I think so. I really do.
Yeah.
Just look on what we achieved in the last 15 years, 10 years, bro. You have a cell phone. You walk every day with a cell phone that's as powerful as a PC nowadays. And you can even play like GTA 5, man, on fucking phone. Oh god. Now let's leave it like that.
If you look at think about it, we grew up playing Super Mario World, playing Super Mario 64, and now
64
now we're playing games like Elden Ring. Do you really think that it's going to stop? Do you think it's going to just stop getting better?
Well,
Of course, it's going to
here's
get
the
better.
thing specifically about dynamic server meshing. I just don't
Come on, Asmongold. You didn't need to be so mean like that, bro. You had to bring Elden Ring, bro. You could have bring something like Dark Souls 1. Something like that. Elden Ring. Probably one of the best games made in the last, I don't know, 15 years. Maybe more. You have The Witcher too, but I don't know. Elden Ring and The Witcher for me kept they're on top. But yeah, let's keep going, guys.
think that's real. I don't think that's ever going to exist. I think it's just an impossible technology that is just impossible.
Okay.
But I'm well open to it being made, and I'm like, yo, if it ever gets made, wow. But until it gets made, I'm like, I'm not going to buy that shit. And it's the same thing for dynamic gridding. It's just basically the same thing, just done in a different way. Until it's shown, I don't believe in it. So currently, it still doesn't exist. Dynamic gridding doesn't exist. So that's 5 things that they've shown in live streams that they sold $250 packs off of.
Man, this dude is emotional about this. What the fuck was going on with him?
That don't actually exist in the video game. So how many times do you have to be screwed? How many times do they have to lie? And, well, let's not use the word lie. Let's use misrepresent. How many times do they have to misrepresent the current status of their development before we get pissed off as consumers?
Now, let's rewind a little bit. Go ahead, Narc.
Wow. But until it gets made, I'm like, I'm not going to buy that shit. And it's the same thing for dynamic gridding. It's just basically the same thing, just done in a different way. Until it's shown, I don't believe in it. So currently, it still doesn't exist. Dynamic gridding doesn't exist. So that's 5 things that they've shown in live streams that they sold $250 packs off of that don't actually exist in the video game. So how many times do you have to be screwed? How many times do they have to lie? And, well, let's not use the word lie. Let's use misrepresent. How many times do they have to misrepresent the current status of their development before we get pissed off as consumers? Misrepresent. How many times do they have to misrepresent the current status of their development before we get pissed off as consumers?
One more time. Come on, Narc. One more time.
How many times do they have to misrepresent the current status of their development before we get pissed off as consumers?
How many times YouTubers, content creators have to lie? Let's not say lie. Misrepresent videos on YouTube with thumbnails that are not would have on the video until the consumers have to be pissed off. You can say the same thing. I've been on YouTube, not with the channel. I've been doing this for a couple of weeks now. Hopefully I can keep growing up and keep going forward. But how many times I've watching a thumbnail? That's why I even use thumbnails. I don't care about that. But how many times I saw a thumbnail that had something on it, it was misleading. There was not the real content on that video. How many times you did that on your channel? Huh? You can say the same thing. How many people that watch YouTube that subscribe to you that were, oh, see, I see this thumbnail, it looks pretty cool about a game or about something. They click it, it's not what the thumbnail has. Huh? You want me to type again? I'll type again.
Misrepresent. How many times do they have to misrepresent the current status of their development before we get pissed off as consumers?
I can say the same thing about us. How many times we've watched people on YouTube clickbaiting people? Come on, can't talk about something that's wrong if you're doing the same thing.
Is that question? Okay, so
Yeah. How many times are you willing to be we play fucking World of Warcraft. We're still getting screwed.
For me,
Everything that you're gonna say from now on is pretty much pointless. At least for me. That's my opinion, boys. Everything you will see on the videos that I drop. No, I will never drop with thumbnails. Whatever the video picks as a background image, it is what it goes. If I ever get a program to edit my videos, it's probably going to be voice quality, quality on the video, some um, I don't know, introduction to the video a little bit better until I improve that, and I will keep working on that and keep evolving. But forget about uh, bait clicking, thumbnails, lies, or fuck that, man.
My perspective is that I don't really look at it that way. If I see a game and it's not in the state that I want it to be, like, and this is the outlook that I have on
Don't
WoW
play
now,
it.
is that if WoW isn't the game that I want it to be at the current point, I just simply stop playing the game until it
Oh,
is.
thank you, someone with a brain.
That's a really good point.
Yeah,
that's a really good
and
point,
that's what you said you're going to do.
Yeah, so you used to.
Yeah.
You used to not be like that, right? You used to really care about World of Warcraft, and you'd play it, and
it was unhealthy.
Sorry, boys, about this, but everything from this point on all the way here, I'll just not give a shit.
It was very
yeah, it's unhealthy. So what I've done is I've looked at the state of the video game, and I thought to myself, do you know what? It's unhealthy for me, and it's not what I want to do, right? I don't know if you saw those clips at the end of that video. It was like me dressed up in like some stupid costumes and shit.
Yeah.
Like that. I want to make videos where I can express myself creatively. You used to watch my videos. You
Sure.
see my
Yeah.
intros.
No, I know.
I love that shit. I fucking love that shit, man. And I felt like the last 2 years I've been covering Ashes of Creation.
But this, I'm not saying that Narc actually does. Like, shit on his thumbnails. I'm not 100% sure. I don't follow the dude like that. More, I do know that Asmongold sometimes go over the head with these thumbnails, uh, but most of the times keeps around what the thumbnail has. But if you actually go see some videos on YouTube, or not even on YouTube, you can actually search on Google, and there's a lot of books that talk about this. Even Jordan Peterson has on one of his podcasts. I think he said something about this, um, but most let's say attention calling tricks YouTubers use on the thumbnail. There's a lot of things you can actually use for the thumbnails to pull the attention of public towards that video. But yeah, keep going. Create things that you like. That's the only way you can keep happy and keep sustainable work ethic on YouTube.
And I'm like, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I thought the game was. I've basically lied to a huge amount of audience because okay, let's not use the word lie. I've misrepresented the game to a huge audience, and I feel extreme amounts of guilt from that. So I want to distance myself from the game and try and pursue something that.
Yeah. His brain tries to keep up the truth, but he doesn't want to go there.
I genuinely care about, which is just making entertaining videos. And unfortunately, in the format of Ashes, I just don't think I can do it because there ain't nothing here.
Jump off.
I think at a certain point, I mean, you're not going to be able to do that.
You didn't need to do a video to smash Ashes of Creation. It's not like the best game for me. I prefer going playing some PoE or Warframe or even this that I'm playing right now, the First Descendant. Not like going crazy on Ashes of Creation. Hopefully it drops out to be a good game, but yeah, keep going, Asma.
Anyway, with any MMO, I mean, I feel like that's always the case.
MMO?
I mean,
Oh no! I'm not going to. No, I'm not going to do MMOs.
Well,
I'm gonna.
Well, I'm just saying, like, in general, like, I mean, this is like a YouTube content creator thing. I don't really think this has a lot to do with like Ashes itself as a game.
No.
This is primarily about like, the way that you want to take your YouTube channel. And I by the way, I support that, right? I mean, I think you should definitely do what you should play other games, make content about other games, and try to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's like I'm doing. I'm beginning, so it's gonna be rough in the next couple months, but if I keep a good ethic on work on my channel, and I keep doing what I like, and uh, keep being truthful to what I am, people can notice that. If you keep lying, if you start lying, you're just gonna go smash to the ground. So yeah, just create anything that you like. I'm saying this for YouTube, but it is for anything in life. You know, I can even say something about me, a little bit personal, but I was in the military. I was not not happy, you know. So jump off. It is what it is. It's much better. You will have a much happy life, and with things they keep you not happy and not over the top happy, you know, but things that keep you moving forward and keep your brain in a focus energy, you know, like I don't want to say happy because you can't be happy all the time, 100% of the day, or even if your life. But if you keep focus on yourself, it's like going for a run, you know, like you don't need to run every day, but every single day. But if you go run at least 3 to 4 days a week, there's something there that keeps your brain focused. Oh, tomorrow is my day for running. So even if you're not happy 100% of the time, there's things in your life that keep you moving forward that's going to bring happiness to your life. Yeah, that's what I want to go. Yeah.
to other
really
audiences,
excited.
and that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
My personal opinion, this is just like from my experience doing content myself, is that I think it's better to like kind of wean yourself off of that rather than cold turkey it. But you should do what you feel like you should do, right? More than anything else. And so,
Yeah.
like, I don't really think that necessarily.
That's true, man. One thing I can say about Asmon from the time I've been following Asmongold and for what I know, and of course I don't truly know Asmongold on a real life connection, you know, like two human beings talking to each other face to face. But what I've been noticed from the time I've been following Asmongold is he's been truthful from the beginning, from the get-go, even from the days he was playing WoW on his house, you know. And if you follow Asmongold, you know what I'm talking about, you know. Like his concept of life, it is truly amazing to watch, you know. Even if all the success that Asmongold has, and I think he said this on one of his videos, he spends like 1% of his income. This dude has money, but yet he lives an honorable, honorable life. Like he doesn't go over the head, you know, over the top. Doesn't buy like expensive clothes to show off. He doesn't buy like an expensive house to show off. He's been he's been living in the same house for the last 30 years. Or more. I don't even know how old Asmongold is. I think he's like 3 years older than me. I think he's like 34. I'm 31, so yeah, he's been humble all this time. That's that's something amazing. That's actually amazing to watch. That's why I follow the dude.
I can definitely see where you're coming from, and I can see why you would be frustrated if you felt like every single development update would have been something that would be available in Alpha 1 or
Saying that, like I said in my last video, I don't agree with everything that Asmongold says, but like like him, he's a human. I'm a human too. Nobody is 100% right from the get-go, bro. It's impossible.
Alpha 2, excuse me. I don't think that that was ever really explicitly stated. And I think also the truth is that the alternative to the way that Ashes of Creation is communicating its development is the way that I think Blizzard does its development, which is they basically never communicate with the public at all. And it's
Well,
very.
you got to remember that.
Yeah, go
you got
ahead.
to remember that. But this, you got to remember that Blizzard aren't charging $250 and slapping open development on their game.
I mean, I don't know about that. I mean,
Well, yeah,
yeah, maybe not a great example, but I mean, either way, I think that this entire problem is actually not even about the state of Ashes of Creation. I think it's more about for you.
No, it's not.
And
Well, it's not.
forgive me if I'm overstepping, but I think this is for you. This is about you reaching a kind of a fork in the road with your YouTube and wanting to take your YouTube in a different direction and wanting to divert. I feel like this is not true at all.
He can reply to that. Let's see what he's gonna say. Let's see.
I mean, you did say that at the end of the video.
Is it about me? Is it about me?
It is about you. That's why you replied that 2 times. Bro. Oh man.
It doesn't.
Is it about
That
me?
doesn't
I don't think
invalidate
it's
what you're
about me.
saying. It's not invalidating.
I think
what
it's
you're
more about. I don't think it's about me. I think it's more about the fact that I don't agree with the misrepresentation of the state of the game. I don't think I don't think I matter. I am nobody at the end of the day. I'm just a random content creator on YouTube. And in my opinion, I don't.
Even if you're nobody, but you have a large reach, and you say something about, let's say about, you don't like Tesla. Let's say about Elon Musk. You don't like Tesla, right? And you have a long reach. Let's say you have a reach like the same level as who has a big reach on YouTube, Mr. Beast, with 300 million subscribers, and Mr. Beast starts to smash and trash talk Tesla. What do you think is gonna happen? Do you think Tesla is gonna start stealing more cars? Of course not. Even if Elon Musk has 500 million people following him, Mr. Beast has like 300 million on YouTube. Do you really think if Mr. Beast start to trash talk about Tesla, that's not gonna affect the sales? It will. Some percentage, I can't say what it's gonna affect, like 1%, 10%. I can't say it, but it will affect. So even with your reach, you can reach a lot of people. And it's gonna be like a ping pong. You do a video trash talking about this, then a person actually sees your video, doesn't see a follow-up video of someone else defending or protecting the product, so that person doesn't listen that video, that person so is going to another video, to the comment section, ping pong your opinion about the game. So now your opinion is the opinion of that person. So it's like a mess. It's crazy, but yeah, in your small reach, you can reach a lot of people. Small, 61K is not small, but yeah, small is like me, three. Dude, let's keep
I
going.
don't think what they've represented is accurate to what they've actually got, and ethically, that feels wrong to me. So I can't continue to support something that doesn't ethically line up with my ideals. Does that make sense?
You think Ashes
So I
of
don't think
Creation is unethical because they haven't shown like all the things that were in these showcases were not in Alpha 2. Is that basically where you're coming from?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the things that they've shown aren't an accurate representation of the game.
With the current state of the game that's playable to the public.
Yeah. So
I mean, because this is what happens, right? It's like there's probably multiple versions of the game. So what I would assume is there's probably 3 versions of the game. There's the version of the game that we're playing. There's the probably internal testing version of the game, and then there's the dev version of the game.
right.
And I feel like it probably exists inside of one of these other 2. Like there's a friends and family alpha, and that usually a lot of people get friends and family alphas, but like they're like 99% of the time like
It's funny because that's what I built my whole channel off, right? I built my whole channel off of that exact copium that you've just said. I just don't think that's true. I don't think there is all these different. I don't think there are all these different branches where there's this magical branch of the video game where it's literally finished. I just don't think that's true.
Well, it's not.
That's true.
You're right.
What the game is.
Well, you're right. It's not finished, but it's in a more finished state. And the problem is that before they want to ship it out to be used by the public, obviously they're going to want to make sure that it's in a place that there are going to be no problems, like different weird things that cause server crashes or anything stupid happening. Like if you play any MMO launch, like that there's going to be things that are fucked up on the release. And so,
yeah, I get that.
like
I understand that. No. I get. Let me interject. I understand that. I get that. But how much further do you think is along? Do you really think that there's this build that they've got that's this developer branch where they've got?
Bro, since like the last 10 years, no game releases with full build up with no problems. All the single games that released from 10 years ago, every single one needs like a hot fix, an update, like 2, 3, 4 weeks after the release. I don't know one game that has been released perfect. Perfect. No. Even a game that I do enjoy, like Elden Ring, when it released, they had to patch some things. and it released in good state. It had some bugs, but yeah, let's keep going. See, look on Asmongold. He already knows that comes shit talk.
All of this stuff here, this giant tower, all of these quote-unquote assets, do you really think they've got a build that has this? Or do you think that this just doesn't exist and this was just a concept built to sell a $250 pack to help them fund the game in the future when it does eventually exist in X?
Right, maybe. Man, if it was not because of you guys that anybody's gonna watch this, I was gonna skip. If I was alone, not streaming this for you guys to upload on YouTube, I was gonna skip this entire conversation and see what Stephanie or Stefan can't pronounce that. That's the same man. But yeah, let's keep
amount of years.
I don't think that it exists in terms of something. Sorry, I'm away from the mic. I don't think that it exists in terms of something that's interconnected inside of the game.
he was, man, look on this. It was not there, bro. He was on like another planet right now. He was logging in on Elden Ring.
When it does eventually exist in X amount of years.
He's loading in.
I don't think that it exists in terms of something. Sorry, I'm away from the mic. I don't think that it exists in terms of something.
Sorry, boy.
Thing that's interconnected inside of the game completely, but I think that they exist in separate instances that are designed to be connected inside of the game because they're made in modular form. So, like for example, the freehold system probably does exist. The dungeon for the desert probably does exist. Now, does it exist inside of a system that is completely connected with all this like modular? Like for example, like you have the portal that you can go into. Maybe not. So, if you want to use percentages, I would say that the game is probably 20% finished, something like that, on this alpha. And I think they probably have an internal version that is 40 to 50% finished. That's probably what I would guess. Which 40 to 50%, it's still theoretically not even halfway there.
I mean, yeah. I mean, chat's saying it right now. I mean, we clearly don't agree on this, so it's an interesting conversation. I completely disagree with everything you just said. I think
it's just I'm giving you a guess of the numbers.
Yeah, I just want to make something clear, right? I don't hate Ashes of Creation. I got no bad will. I might not like.
Doesn't look like, bro.
I might not like Steven as a person, but I got no bad will against Ashes of Creation or their team or anything. I wish the game the best, right? I want the game to succeed. I just don't agree with the current state of things and how it's been advertised, right? So it's interesting that we have complete opposite opinions about all of this.
No,
here's my opinion.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's my thought, right? I think ultimately the game is just going to speak for itself over the next few years.
It will.
I'm just stepping away because I felt like I need to.
If you're gonna do that, why all this drama, bro? Why are you so emotional about the game? Just asking. It's not like you're gonna watch my video, but yeah.
At least tell my audience why I'm stepping away. That's what that video was. It was explaining my frustrations for why I'm stepping away from the game. I'm frustrated because I feel guilty that I've advertised something that wasn't true for 4 years of my entire life. So
it took you 4 years to realize that? Well, I can't say too much about that. It took me like 8 years to realize I didn't like military, but yeah, okay. Understandable. I give you that. But still, even if you took you 4 years to realize that, you can just jump off. No drama, no nothing, like just I don't like, go off. No need all this emotion, bro.
I don't want to pursue that anymore. I actually want to go cover other things and do things that I want to do that are in line with my ethics. Most of my successful videos on my channel are not even Ashes of Creation related. So I'm just like, fuck, what am I doing?
Sorry about that, guys.
And I think that's a good decision for you to make. And like, if you think that you should step away from the game because you feel like it's reductive or it's holding you back or you're just tired of it or for whatever reason, like, I mean, I think a lot of people do that. I mean, like, you get burned out. Sure, I think that's fine. But I don't think that it's that these things don't exist. But I do think that obviously it's going to take time for them to be implemented into the game in a playable state that's made public. Like, these are two very different things.
Because I'm now connected to a much wider audience. I would ask a question to that audience. if you did, or if you watched the coverage of Ashes of Creation 2 years ago,
Yeah.
how many of you were under the impression that this is the current state of the game, rather than just a concept that will be in the game in 4 years from now? That would be a question I would ask to the wider audience. Were you aware that what they're showing isn't actually in the game? Would you still back?
In concept, yeah. It's a concept. Yeah, it's like that dude over there, Lucy, is saying. It was a 50-50, you know? It was a concept. An idea, it's an idea. Creation is a creation. Sure, you had like an idea of some things that could come out that didn't come out, but it's still an alpha, bro. It's a creation. It's not finished. Now you can complain about that once the game is finished. Oh, you guys said you're gonna bring a purple mount, but yet you only have black and white and red and blue. See, it doesn't make sense, man. Once the game is finished, you can actually say that, but right now it's on alpha, man. Just the idea of concept of trying to create something tells you everything. Even if they tomorrow come up, the developers, the team that's behind Ashes of Creation, that says, "Oh, in 2 weeks we're gonna have a a green dragon," and after 2 weeks they said, "Oh, sorry, we still didn't create the wings, or is missing a leg." You gonna be mad with the dudes? Concept, bro.
Yeah, man.
Would you?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Would you still back the video game? Would you still have spent $250 knowing that all the stuff that they're showing isn't real currently, and it's just concepts? Because I can name a game that did this very similar thing, and it's called Chronicles of Valeria, and you know all about that one.
Oh yeah, I watched the video about it. It's a concept. Yeah, I mean, so
everything's just a concept.
I can only speak for myself. I think that for me, if I see the way that a game is, I would assume that I would probably be like half and half with like what you're saying. Like, yeah, I could kind of see that, and I could also see like some systems aren't ready on alpha. And I feel like in general, and this is like a distinction that I think some people make between like an alpha and a beta, is that an alpha is not feature complete, but a beta is feature complete. So what I mean by that is that things like systems, for example, the freehold system, would not all be available in an alpha, but they would be in a beta. So, yeah. and this is something, by the way, a lot of people define alphas and betas differently in gaming, and I feel like it's primarily a marketing ploy more than anything.
Yes, 100%.
So, yeah, but I think that is definitely a pretty big difference. And so, like, if every single feature...
It's like I was saying, a concept is a concept. Creation is a creation, and the final product, when you finish the product, it's different, you know? Like, you can actually complain once the product it's like done. Right now it's not.
In the game was not available in the alpha, I wouldn't immediately be upset about it. I think that like as a customer, like if you spend money on something, every customer is entitled to have whatever opinion they want.
Well, I didn't spend money on this, so I can't speak about that.
For something that they spent money on, but from my personal opinion, from like playing a lot of games, especially like games early in development, no, it really wouldn't surprise me that much.
Right.
And so, I think obviously it's like you're making a gesture of good faith.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me ask you this, because this is something that really rubbed me the wrong way with Pirate. Pirate was saying, Pirate, and he's not saying it maliciously or whatever.
Sure.
All he's doing is repeating what Steven said. Steven thinks that the alpha is going to last at least 1 year, right? How long do you think the alpha 2 is going to last?
I don't know.
That's a good question. 3? So if they change the name of Alpha 2 to Beta, would that considered be lasting? I mean, because like, so if Alpha 2 lasts for a year and then they change it into Beta, would you say that they lied?
Look over there. Look. This is why most opinions on the internet are not to take serious. You don't take serious people on the internet because most of them are trolls. Or people don't give a shit about anything. They just wanna joke around, see other people mad, create confusion and fights among other people. It's the same thing on the chat on First Descendants. It's always a fight over there. That's why I don't go. But look, 10 years, 250 years. This guy's just joking around. If you keep looking in the chat, you'll see more people going towards that type of behavior. You know, look,
Okay, well,
look,
first of all, they're not going to do that,
another one.
right?
Why?
Look,
Because
69 days.
they've
Another
stated that the
one.
alpha period is going to be much, much, much longer than the beta, right? The beta, my perception
Let's
of the
see
beta,
if
at least from like
another
within
one
the game, I
comes
think the
up.
beta when it launches is going to
Another
be feature complete,
one.
and in
Come
a
on.
state where it's basically that's the marketing part, right? That's where they start marketing it in
5
beta.
years.
So I think the alpha,
Alpha 200, that's money,
based on
probably.
because we've got a lot of people that are obsessed with the video game. We've been pulling it apart for 4 years, and we get a lot of joy out of that. We understand the
31
speed at which Intrepid,
years.
at least
1 year more alpha means 3+ years beta. Yeah, this one is kind of
from our perspective, we understand the speed
on
at which
point.
Intrepid works. So what we've done is we kind of
230. 200 no, 2030. Alpha is at least 13 to 15 years. This one is talking about games that were like 30 years ago.
extrapolate that and try to figure out how long it would take them to develop the whole video game, which includes those 18 biomes. And we think it's going to be a minimum of 6 years.
How long do you guys think Grand Theft Auto GTA 6 has been undeveloped? 8 years? 9 years now? 10 years? 15? They could have lied. Of course not.
6 years from now.
Yeah, before they go into beta, I think. And
Oh, before, so that's even into beta.
It will take
yeah, so that's assuming
Okay.
though. That's assuming
it'll take them at least another 3 years.
that they launch with the beta after they have all 18 biomes. So that's just based on how much land mass they've got. So a really good perspective for like the audience who do want to continue following the game is to.
And how did you math that out?
So it's
2034. Oh god.
based on like if we assume that it's taken them 4 years, so the start of 2020, when was it? 2021 at the start of 2022.
Sure, yeah.
So in 3 years, if we assume 3 years, that's when the game actually started to be developed. That's the current state of the game. This version of the game, we think, started actually being developed in 2022 at the start. So when they switched to Unreal Engine 5, that was a clean slate for them, and that's a good thing, right? By the way, I think that's very good. I think they should have cleared everything before because the assets were not suitable because they're badly.
It was the right decision to go to Unreal 5.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. I think that was a good decision for them. That's a very controversial thing to say within the community because a lot of people disagree. But I think it was a good decision because it's a step forward. And so we think the development started there. So if we assume that that's when they started, and up until the point where they launched, and what they have is about 1/3, maybe 2/3 of one biome, which is the Riverlands. Just for context as well, by the way, the Riverlands isn't actually finished. So another reason why I'm pissed off is the fact that they've started working on the desert when the Riverlands isn't even finished. So it's like, fuck, why are you doing that? That's really annoying me.
I mean,
anyway.
well, yeah, but like the thing is that, and this is, I think, one of the problems with like charging money for an alpha is that the way that a development team is going to prioritize and do things internally might not make sense to a person who's not. Like you're not like there might be an internal reason for that. I mean, I don't know why it could make sense. It could not make sense.
So there could be a reason for it. Yeah, let's talk about that. There could be a reason for it.
Sure.
So do you not think that Intrepid it would benefit Intrepid? So all of this is basically miscommunication, is how I would label this whole scenario.
I think that you're right about that.
Miscommunication on their point. Stephen disagrees. He actually thinks the communication's great. I completely disagree with that. I think the communication's actually extremely poor, or it at least could be a lot better to help sell their game in a better light. Anyway, the point is why don't Intrepid communicate that what you just said to us? Why don't they communicate to us that actually here's why? Have you ever played PoE?
Yes.
Have you ever read PoE's patch notes?
Yes.
Do you know that in every single patch notes, the developers give a reason for the change?
Yeah.
That to me is peak communication from a developer team. And when a project is advertised as open development, I would expect that kind of level of communication to its audience, especially when they're slapping $250 on it. I would expect something. They're not actually extending anything to us. They're not explaining to us why it's like this.
I think that you're conflating two different things, though, right? You're looking at like a development prioritization list, which is something that's going to be based around development, and PoE making a balancing change of like, Whirlwind or Cyclone doing more or less damage. I feel like these are two very different things.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm using I'm kind of like straw manning a little bit, but that's fine. What I mean is, why can't they just tell us why the desert is in the current state that it is? Why, when they said that the desert was going to be expanded and we could cut trees, and there was going to be a bunch of resources and get wood and stuff. So basically, to up for the context, you actually played the video game, so you're missing context. So a major resource to.
Got a question. Can you cut trees on the other side of the map? You can cut trees on the other side of the map. What makes you so angry about the desert not be able to cut trees? Uh, okay,
Level up these nodes and progress these nodes is wood. So we need
Yeah.
wood in the desert in order to progress these nodes.
okay. So I understood now. All right. Understandable. But you might just give them the chance of time to build that up. But yeah, let's keep going.
There is no wood in the desert because the trees aren't real. So they sold the expansion of the desert having trees that were cuttable, that was going to have a bunch of landmass and a bunch added, but none of that was added. So from my perspective as a customer, as a consumer, I think to myself, holy shit, they're finally expanding the desert. They're finally giving us things to do in the desert. Because 2 years ago, they showed us basically a complete desert. It's complete. It's a complete desert. They showed
Concept.
us a complete desert. I had the impression, and so did a lot of my audience, I would say nearly 100% of my audience, we're expecting a desert expansion. There is no desert expansion. It's just sand that you can generate in Unreal Engine 5 by pressing generate sand, and that's it. So what are we expected to test here? What's the test here? What's the point of the phase 2? Why did you sell a phase 2 for $110 when phase 2 is basically the same as phase 1 and nothing's changed and you just wiped everyone back to level 0? What are we testing this time? Why are we spending 50 hours grinding? We've already done that bit. There's nothing new for us to test. So is this how phase 3 is going to go? What about phase 3? What about phase 3.5? What about phase 3.6? How is this game even being developed? We have no idea because there's zero communication. And I was hoping at least
There was the same thing with Star Citizen. When Star Citizen started to drop some phases, people were complaining. Yet Star Citizen actually managed to pull up to what the concept was. Of course, they are trying to aim a little bit higher on for the future, but it was the same thing. They had concepts of places, concepts of ships, concepts of gameplay. They were trying to add to the game, but they needed time. With no time and no manpower to build your game up, forget it. You need to give people time. Oh, but they said they're gonna release tomorrow, and now they're gonna release in 1 month because they need another month. Yeah, dude, and you're gonna die if you need to wait another month to play the game. Oh my god. Sure, I'm overreacting a little bit over here, but the game it's gonna release an update. For example, 1999. I was playing the game. I wanted to try 1999, and they didn't release the day it was supposed to release. I think it was 1999. Not 100% sure on that now, but yeah, I had to wait another week, I think, or two. I didn't go smashing walls on the streets and trying to kick people. You know, you just need to wait. Give them time. The benefit of the doubt. So it is what it is.
I've tried to talk so many times about the lack of communication at Intrepid. I've made like 6 videos. I think you even reacted to one, maybe I can't remember. And you disagreed with me in that video as well.
Which one?
But it was the one where I just spoke about the lack of communication at Intrepid, right? Let me see if I can find the thumbnail. But it was basically a TLDR of the video was the communication is leaving a lot of the audience confused about the current state of the video game, and we don't. Oh, here it is. The community are losing trust in Ashes of Creation because a lot of people approach me. I am the I'm not trying to I'm trying to be as humble as possible. I'm not trying to toot my horn, but I am like the point where people come to get a understanding of the current video game. So a lot of people were coming to me and saying, "What the fuck's happening? What's going on with this? Why is it doing this? Why are they doing this? I'm losing trust, right?" So I was like, okay, well, how can I approach this? How can I address this situation? So I addressed the situation by making this video and saying,
Bro, you're not doing a good image for yourself, bro. Let's keep
listen,
going.
Intrepid Studios, the communication is really, really falling to pieces, and we don't know what's going on. Please, can you maybe increase the communication
Man,
a little bit?
I want to see how much time, bro. I want to see what this dude is gonna speak, man. Bro, boys, listen. Once this guy starts to speak, whatever he has to say, all these dudes over here, they're gonna change opinion. From 54 to 55, they're gonna change their opinions. You'll see. If you pause it and keep reading the chat on this link of the video and then this, you will see them change.
You understand what's going
You'll
on
see.
and why you're making these choices and why it's been delayed or why it's been changed. So now, originally we thought the Alpha 2 was just going to launch as an Alpha 2, but then they changed it to phases. And a lot of people were really confused about this phase thing. And then they added a bunch of prices to the phases, and it's kind of a bit like scratching their heads, like, what the fuck?
I feel like a lot of this is based off of the fact that it's paid. Like, I feel like that, like, because if this game was free, I don't think that we'd even be having this conversation.
Yeah, I agree.
See? Smart dude, bro.
Like, this is entirely, well, like, I think that matters, though, right? So, like, if the development process is fundamentally problematic or bad for whatever reason, then that's very different than you saying that the development process is frustrating as a paying customer. So, like, you're kind of comparing and, like, arguing about two separate things. Yeah, that's what I would really say the most about it would be.
Yeah. Well, I am just expressing like random concerns now. But sticking to the point of the video, the point of the video is that what they showed isn't actually the current state of the game, and I don't agree with that. Okay. Therefore, I am stepping away. That's all the video is. Okay. And then I showed comparisons. They advertised this. This is what we got. I've received a lot of pushback in the comments about how what I showed isn't actually representative of what the desert actually is, and you said that as well. But
sorry, boys.
Is being shown has no content. There are no points of interest in that desert. It's easy to just generate a desert area.
Well, then why didn't you show that part?
Because I've already made a 20-minute video about it. That part already exists on my channel for everyone to see.
But
I've already covered that. That was phase 1.
You could see how somebody who watched this video would think that this is the desert, right?
Well, yeah, but the point is that this was the expansion. So we're talking about the desert expansion.
That's not what you said in the video. You said it was the desert. Like, you didn't say it was the expansion. You said it was the desert.
Yeah.
I had a section in that video that explicitly spoke about the expansion.
I think that you probably did at some point, but you also said that it was the desert itself. Like, I can compromise and say, like, maybe you said both, but I remember you saying that it was the desert.
Yeah, it was the desert.
There's a whole section in this video where he talks about the expansion.
Okay, well, if people can find the timestamp, I can watch it.
I'm looking at it right now. I've got it on my stream.
Where's the timestamp? I can listen to it right now.
Okay. Okay, let's go back to 5 minutes and, I don't know, 18?
Okay. All right, I'm going to play it.
25?
25?
5:25.
All right, I'll listen to it.
Main reasons to wipe the servers, yet the vassal system or level 4 nodes weren't even introduced this phase. And now they even claim that they're not going to wipe at all. They are instead just going to introduce new servers. So what's going to happen to those old servers? They claimed prior to phase 2's launch that at the launch of this phase, Desert was going to receive an expansion.
I am just going to be talking about what's going to land on December 20th. We're going to go through what systems are going to land come December 20th. Let's talk a little bit about what we have coming up for December 20th, right? The Desert as well. The Desert is probably going to receive a little bit more love than the Tropics will, given that its assets are obviously a bit more developed than the Tropics location.
This prompted people to finally expect some remnants of the Desert showcase that was shown in 2022. Yet what we received...
That's pretty much it.
Okay. So, but like, you see how that's confusing for me to see, because you're talking about like the desert, and then you're showing the images that are in the game.
Yeah.
So you're seeing the expansion, and you said it prompted people to believe what's going to be seen 2 years ago, and then you're showing that.
Yeah. Well, I thought I was pretty... I'm going to be honest, I thought it was pretty clear. I thought that clip there is pretty clearly stating that this is the desert expansion, and there is no desert expansion. The desert expansion is a flat piece of sand with 3 nodes that are copy-pasted nodes from the Riverlands, and that's all it is. That's the expansion. So they sold the launch of Phase 2 with a $110 price tag based on lies, basically, because there is no expansion. You can't claim that that is an expansion. I mean, do you believe what I'm showing is an expansion there?
Well, no. I mean, obviously not. I mean, it is in a way, right? It technically is an expansion, but no, not really.
Yes.
Okay.
Technically, yes, and I agree. Technically, it is.
But it's not.
Would you then agree? So would you say that that's a communication issue? What I'm trying to express is communication issues. Improve the communication. That's what I want Intrepid to do. I care a lot about Intrepid. I care a lot about Ashes of Creation. I want them to improve their communication skills, because I think it's vital for the survival of this open development project that communication is key.
And you don't think that it's misleading at all to show the edge of the map, and then to say that that's the new stuff?
No, that's not the edge of the map. That is directly in smack bang in the middle.
Amazing point of view, Asmongold. I think that was a shot. That was a shot, bro.
Of the desert. This is a node here. This is in the middle of the desert. I've shown that point before. This is just beyond that point. This is the desert. This is the expansion that they advertised. That part that Steven showed existed in phase 1. I've already covered it. I've got a whole 20-minute video showing that already. That isn't the expansion. This, what I'm showing on my screen right now, is the so-called expansion.
Okay.
You understand?
I mean, I'd have to see it for myself and make sure and decide that.
Yep.
I mean, look up the definition of expansion. Yeah, I'm not sure. I do think that, like,
I recommend 2 years.
Yeah, for sure.
2 years.
So you think it's going to be 2 years until the alpha comes out?
I think it. No. What I'm saying is give it 2 years. Like, forget about Ashes, right? Stop thinking about the video game. Let them develop it for 2 years, and then come and check in 2 years to see how they're doing. That's what I recommend.
I just think that it's unfair to expect for an Alpha 2 to have all the features in it, because I've played a lot of Alphas before, and they've never had that.
Delivered on their features so far. No, they've delivered their features so far.
Well, you said they didn't deliver the freehold.
They haven't delivered the freeholds yet, but they will do. I didn't say anywhere that they're not going to deliver the features. They will do, but don't get it twisted. It's not going to be in 2 years, boys. It's going to be, I don't know how long. I can't tell you. Look at Star Citizen is what I'd say. Maybe compare it to that.
Well, we'll see what happens, right?
How much you want to believe that, like, in 2 years they're gonna release that and he's gonna come up on YouTube with an excuse and something else?
But okay.
Yeah.
So are you going to keep playing the game at all, or like, what are you going to do?
Oh,
I think I'm gonna. Well, I have to, right? I'm not gonna play it myself, but I've got a whole community who love the game, right? Over the years, I'm sure I'm gonna get people posting the progress, so I will keep up with the game's progress through the people that still come to my community and post it, right? I will just casually keep up with the video game and see how they're doing. But ultimately, I just wish there's no malicious intent towards them. I just don't agree with what they're doing, and I wish them the best.
Okay, that's fair. I'll probably get Steven on, and we'll talk to him after this.
Yeah, that's what I want.
So,
do you want to talk to me after this?
Finally, the rest is probably just blah blah blah. Okay, let's skip. Sorry about this, guys.
Mike is.
Hello.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, brother?
I am.
Okay. I'll leave this for part 3. Let me upload this and then I'll come back with part 3, guys. Like always, leave a like if you want. If you don't want, it's a free world. Subscribe. Go on Asmongold channel. Subscribe to the dude. The dude is amazing. As a streamer on Twitch. Sorry about that. He's a streamer on Twitch and he uploads a lot of videos for YouTube. He has an amazing point of view for a lot of controversial subjects, and he does a lot of overall creative videos on YouTube with a lot of different subjects. So go ahead, subscribe to the dude. The dude is amazing. Like always, take care of yourself, take care of the ones you love, and I'll see you in the next episode. See ya!